welcome back everyone to the brand new episode of the Code Drop. Today we're going to continue the basics of HTML and we're going to learn the typography styles which are available by default in HTML. So let's open our example from the previous video and we're going to work on that. Let's get started. So first thing you want to start with is headings, because if you want to make a web page you surely need a heading for the web page. So we have 6 tags ranging from h1 to h6 which define heading of a page. So let's add all the sizes here. So first one is h1. H1 is the largest heading, so we're just going to call it first heading. Now the second one is h2. Let's call it second heading. There's no much difference between all the sizes. That's just like the h1 is the largest and h6 is the smallest, so you can say that the third heading will be large. So let's start from the top. So let's say that h1 is the largest, then h2 is the larger one, and then h3 is large, and then we have h4 which is small, and then we have h5 which is smaller, and then at last h6 which is smallest. So there's the fifth one, there is a smaller heading, and at last h6 smallest heading, which is sixth heading. So in previous version of HTML, I think HTML 3 or 1, there was also h7, but it's not applicable now. We just have h1 to h6. Let's see it in action. We're going to go live. So now you can see that the first heading which we made using the h1 tag is the largest and takes the most space. And then we have second heading, third heading, h1, h2, h3, h4, h5 and h6 being the smallest. Now the advantage of having all these different sizes is that you can use 2 headings in the same page. For example, you can set your second heading as a main heading size, and then you can put the subheading which will be fourth heading size. So let's do that also. We'll remove all of this for now and let's just have 2 headings. So let the first one be h1 only and we'll call it main heading, and then let's have one more, let's say h4, and it will be subheading. So you always in the page need a main heading and subheadings to follow up with, so you can use these different sizes of the heading tag and make these changes. Now the second thing we want to discuss is the paragraphs. Paragraphs are basically the content which you want to write inside of your heading. So if heading is the title of the web page, then the paragraph contains the article you want to include. So let's add a p tag, it defines the paragraph, and let's say this is a paragraph which defines the article which we want to include in our web page. Okay, so now you can see that it's coming in as a paragraph. So you have your main heading, then you have your introductory paragraph, and then you have subheading. And also we have pre-paragraphs in our HTML, and what it basically is that we define some paragraph inside of a pre-tag. Now let's copy this paragraph from above and let's paste it inside our pre-tag. So when we save it, you can see that there's a subtle difference between the both tags, and that is that in p-tag the white spaces don't count. So if you have more than one space here, for example this is a space, so you have a space in between this, so let's add another space. So you can see that there's no change in the p tag, it just treats it as one space. But when you add a second space in the pre tag, in the pre paragraph, you can see that there's actually one more space generating there. So you can actually add multiple spaces count in pre tag, and also line breaks count. So you can see that we have a line break here, and that's why it does not goes to the end of the page. For example, we didn't have this line break, then it would write like this. So that's why when we use pre-tags, we have to give the line breaks. You can also see that it's tabbed because we have 4 tab spaces there. If we remove these tab spaces, it gets stick to the left. Now these are the subtle differences between P and pre-tag. They both are used for defining paragraphs. One does not include white space and the other includes. Now the next thing we got is quotations and block quotes. So there's this difference between quotations and block quotes. So quotes are added using the Q tag. So if we add a Q tag here and let's write this is a quotation. So you can see that we have this thing. This is a quotation written in quotes. This is how we define quotations in a paragraph. Okay, but if you want to define block quotes, so what block quotes is? Block quotes basically makes one more indented section and the text is included inside of it. So let's add some more text. We're just gonna copy this again. So let's write in block quote as a paragraph, and now you can see that this is a block quote. It has some indentation from the main paragraph and it is bolder than the main paragraph and it's smaller also. So this is the subtle difference we have between block quotes and quotes. Quotations are written between these double inverted commas, but block quotes are block and have some indentation from the main paragraph. Okay, now the last thing we want to discuss is formatting. So there are many types of formatting applied to your text. So the main things are italic text, bold text, and underlined text. So let's add an I tag. It is used to add italic text. So let's add an italicized text, italic text. So you can see that we have a text which is in italic style. Now we're gonna add in bold text, and let's say it's a bold text, and then underlined text, which will be underlined. Now you can see that we have three types of text. One is italic, one is bold, and one is underlined. And we can actually mix all of these together too. So let's just add line breaks here to make our code a little bit of clutter free. Let's just add this BR everywhere, and now let's make an text which is both bold and italic. So B, and inside of it I, and let's add the underline also, and inside of it U, and let's say that this is a italicized bold underlined text. So you can see that this line is all of them. It's bold, it's italic, it's underlined. So there are even more formatting options included in HTML. There are subscript, superscript, strong text, and much more. We're going to give example of subscript and superscript. So let's write a name of a comment. So let's write ch4. So ch4. You can see that does not look good. We want the 4 to be small. We want the 4 to be in subscript. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to include a sub tag, and we'll include 4 inside of it. So now when we save it, you can see that a 4 is smaller than the rest of the text. So this is in a subscript now. And let's add a superscript also. Let's say 2 to the power n. It's writing it as 2n, but we want it as 2 to the power n. So we'll add a sub tag, which is short for superscript, and we'll add n to it. And when we save, you can see that the 2 to the power n comes as 2 to the power n. So that's it for today, guys. If you have any doubts, you can put them up in the comment section. I'll actually link the page from where you can refer all the different formatting options available in HTML. And thumbs up if you liked the episode, subs if you loved it. I'm gonna see you on the next episode of the Code Drop. Bye for now.